and you scan, and your scans are like, is the vocal loud enough? That's probably your first pass.
Totally.
Can you hear the vocal? It's good. Okay. Now, what's missing? Can you get good overheads? Does it fit with the kick drum? Is that all good? How's the snare and the kick featuring, and how's the kick and the bass guitar featuring together? Is that a bit much? Is that swamping that? Is that a bit out of proportion? You know, you go through all these like fucking passes, and it's fast.
Yeah.
And the more you do, I'm slow when I come first days. When I've been at home for 4 months, it slows me down. So it takes me a while to pass it.
Me too.
It might be a few songs now, whereas when I'm on tour, I'll do it in the first fucking song. I've done all the passes, and then I can settle down to the mixing.
Yeah.
Right.
Then I'm looking for parts then there's, because you got to remember, both of us have heard all the songs the band play, and at some point we have nailed each part. Maybe not all the parts in one show. They're the shows where you go, it's the best show I've ever done.
Yeah.
And that never happens normally. Like I said, 10 and 30 of
Right.
years, where every part of the songs come along and you've gone, that part worked as well. That one big floor tom fitted fantastically with the bass guitar push, and the cymbal was good as well. And it's all.
You see how fucking crazy we are? This is exactly.
This is what we do.
Yeah, but
You know.
It's parts.
Yeah.
And then the parts
And I
come
live
along.
for that shit.
Me
you know
too.
what I mean?
That's what it's
Live
all
for it,
about.
yeah.
You know, for me, like Sad But True, right? Let's take that as a song. When he goes round the toms,
Yep.
that first run round the toms, I am fucking pinning those toms. That VCA. You are gonna wear those fucking toms. I know.
You're wearing them.
You're wearing them. There ain't no fuck. And when he comes back out of it, you know, the snare drum, and I'm looking. But you know, you do gigs where you possibly go too far with that, and that can spoil it, that part for you too. When you go, oh, well, he went round the toms and then come back to the kick and snare, and the toms dwarf the kick and snare too much. What were you thinking? And that's the kind of punishments. What were you thinking? Why did you feel the need to go so fucking far?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just be normal about this? But normal isn't what the punters get off on.
No, yeah.
They're not playing air drums to normal.
Right.
They're playing air. They're moved when that big. When you see them all doing this, it's because that part's moved them. So when you have a million of those fucking, and every song can be hundreds of those parts.
And it's really understanding the record, especially for a band like what Mick does, but also my guys, understanding what the fans like in a section of a record, like what he's talking about with the
See,
with
I
the
don't
toms.
know. I got to jump in here.
Yeah?
Because I never work to the records.
Interesting. See, I do.
I don't work to the record at all.
Okay.
Not one fucking iota. Because I don't always agree with what they've done. No, I formulated my picture, right, by talking to the kids for 31 years.
Got it.
They all know me. You watch them, they come and talk to me because I've talked to them. All right, I don't go up to them and ask them to fill out a questionnaire.
How are the toms?
Do you think that Tom No, but you can fucking tell the bits that excite them when they talk to you about a part in a song. Oh, this bit fucking hell, it was great last week.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I get it. And when you hear it a few times, then you're like, all right, tick, that part's sorted. Now what about all the other fucking 5,000 whatever parts? And you build them, don't you? You build on those parts. Now Pooch, because he's so far more elaborate than that, you do snapshots, don't you? So he'll capture that part. Now I don't do that because Metallica's in flux all the time.
My guys are not. My guys are same.
It is nothing like for me, you know. My idea is I have to go and talk to Lars before they go on to get kind of a vibe
of where he's at.
of where
it's
he's
gonna
at
be.
that day.
Yeah.
Is he going to come out the gate and be fucking blasting to be Jesus? Am I going to go, whoa, fucking hell? In which case, all of a sudden it comes on, it sounds like a fucking drum solo.
Yeah, right.
Or is he going to come on and be like, oh, I don't know, and then I'm like, oh, fucking hell, you know? So there's all that kind of going on. So, you know, my offset is I could never have next parts because, like,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
it isn't the parts are not established.
Yeah.
It's established in me and how fast I can go. fuck, that's missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's really interesting, you know, it's that how we're trying to achieve the same thing, but we come from a different place. The bands are different, so it's hard to just, you know what I mean? But, you know, my whole thing, you know, he's talking about how his whole thing doesn't even listen to records, he's focused on what the band's producing now. I come totally from analyzing their record.
Have a lot of those sort of parts.
I do, yeah. And if I don't, I wouldn't be here because they want those little nuanced parts, you know, that are on the record, right? So, for me, it's analyze the records, make sure that I'm coming at you with a record quality mix, is what I call it. But then I add what I call dynamics for a live thing that are kind of in flux. Because I think if I let it lay like the records are,
they might as well stay at home.
Yeah, I might as well stay at home. So I think it's my goal to, like, you know, like push a tom fill that maybe isn't like that on the record, but I'm gonna, you know, you're gonna get some fucking toms tonight, you know. And so it's what I call it record quality with impact. That's my quote of what I do for this band, for Linkin Park, you know. But it's interesting that we come at it from different ways, but
it's the same end result.
Same end result,
right?
You know?
Really. It is the same end result.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they don't have a PA at home, so they can hear Linkin Park on steroids, basically. You know, and that's great because it can be bigger than they could ever imagine.
But I love, like, you know, my guys have those 808, you know, fucking 30 hertz.
Yeah, right.
And it is my favorite thing in the world to have a mix just kind of sitting there, boom, 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 and then grab an 808 and watch the whole crowd just go, you know, like you can watch them physically get nailed with an 808 and then come back and go, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean?
That's great.
I love that. Yeah, it's great stuff.